2.8, it says two variable inequalities. Two variable inequalities means that we have in our equations an x and a y. And if we are graphing something that is an inequality with an x and a y in it, that means it's going on the coordinate plane. Okay? So even though it says inequality, it's going on the coordinate plane. So here's what I want to tell you about first. If you have a less than sign or a greater than sign, when you graph, your line is going to be dashed. If you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, then you have a solid line when you graph. If you have less than or equal to, we are going to shade below the line. And if you have greater than or equal to, we are going to shade above the line. All right, so here we go. Example number 1. Let's say I have, start off with a really easy one. Y is less than 1/2 x plus 4. So we are going to graph this just like we normally would. If that was an equal sign there, right? If that was an equal sign there, we would start by graphing this starting at the point 0.04 on the y-axis. So I would start here. And then my slope is 1/2, so I would go up 1 and over 2, put a dot. Up 1 and over 2 and put a dot. Now normally we would connect that line and be done. This says less than, which means when we connect those dots, we're going to make it a dashed line through those dots. Just means it can't equal it. And then because it is less than, we are going to shade below the line. So what this means is any point that falls in the shaded region is a solution for that inequality. You remember some of this? Did we go over this, you guys? Did we get a chance? Because we were in and out, so I wasn't sure. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's try another one. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Okay, let's try another one. Let's do example number 2. How about let's graph negative y is less than 2x plus 4. So before we can actually graph this, we have to get y by itself, don't we? Which means we're going to do what? We're going to divide everything by -1. Now, if it's an inequality and you divide by a negative, yes, you have to flip your sign. So we have y is greater than negative 2x minus 4. All right, so again, on my coordinate plane, first we start at the point 0, -4. Then my slope says I do what? Good, down 2 and over 1. And I can repeat it again if I want. Now, because this is greater than, it is a dashed line. Because it is not equal to any point that falls on that. That is a dashed line. Now this time, we're saying that it is greater than. So that means that we are going to shade the region above the line, which is this whole one right here. And you can shade it just by putting like like pencil marks. You can shade it with a colored pencil, whatever's going to work best for you. So I do want to explain a little bit that when you are shading, I want you to think, because sometimes our lines are pretty steep, and to say, okay, what's above and what's below can sometimes be tricky. I want you to think of it as the y-axis. So wherever it crosses the y-axis, if I say above, then it's that area above where the y-axis is. If I say below, it would be the part down here. Okay? All right. Let's try another one. All right, let's actually put it on some graph paper. Let's get a little bit better here. Yes, this will be example number 3. All right, what if I said y is greater than or equal to 2 absolute value x minus 1 plus 2. So we have to graph this absolute value. Somebody tell me how does this translate? Good. Right 1, up 2, good. And a stretch of 2. All right. So we're going to start by going to the right 1 and up 2. Starts right here. Then our stretch means that our slope is 2 over 1. We're going to go up 2 into the right 1. Then we go back to our vertex and go up 2 into the left 1. Now when we go to connect our dots, this time we have a greater than or equal to, which means we want a solid line through those points. And then because it's greater than, we're going to shade above. And so that means it's going to be everything inside this beautiful V. Because again, if you look at the y-axis, it's that section that goes above. Okay? All right. Let's see. What if I gave you this one? I'm going to leave it on the same graph for a second. Let's say this is example number 4. What if you get something that looks like this? Graph 5 minus y is greater than or equal to x. What would you want to do first here? Good. Subtract 5. So I have negative y is greater than or equal to x minus 5. Now what? When I divide by a negative 1, yes, I get y is less than or equal to negative x minus 5. Oh, plus 5. Yes, thank you, plus 5. So let me make a separate little graph down here for us to graph it on. That way I have up a little bit. There we go. There's my graph. Kind of. All right, so I'm going to start at 0, 5 in the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My slope is negative 1. What does that mean I do? Okay, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. Is this going to be a solid or a dashed line? Solid, very good, because it's got the line underneath it. And where am I going to shade? Yes, it is less than, so we're going to shade underneath. Questions? Anybody at all? You doing okay? What? Oh. Okay. So and again, our assignment today is 8 through 60 multiples of 4. So it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't because you're doing multiples of 4. I mean, it breaks way down. In the first couple sections, you're just graphing just like we did. Okay? Second section, so let's talk about one of those. So once you get to like 28, it's a little bit different. Example number 5. You'll be fine. Right. No, you won't. Write an inequality. 4. And let's say I have, here's my graph. I know my graph's going to look beautiful here, but say it goes through this point. And I'm just going to say my slope is 1. And then let's say, and let's shade up here. All right, so you're going to be given the graph, and you've got to write the inequality. All right, so first of all, we start off with y. Is this greater than or less than? It is greater than because it's above. Is it greater than or equal to? Good, because it's a dashed line, right? Now, we said our slope is 1, so that's 1x. And then, where's my y-intercept? Good. Can you guys do the same thing when it's absolute value? Of course you can. I know you can. All right, so then, last example, if you guys are good. Okay. I want to show you one of these because I know a couple people are going to come back and tell me, I had no idea how to do it, so we're going to do it right now. Last example. All right. What if we had something that looks like this? 2/3 x plus 2 is less than or equal to 2/9 y. So you guys tell me, if we're going to graph this, what do you want to do first? Clear the fraction. I completely 110% agree. So we're going to times it all by what? 9. Very good. Times everything by 9. Get rid of that fraction because we don't, 9. We don't like how it looks. All right. So that means I'm going to have 6x plus 18 is less than or equal to 2y. Now what do you want to do? Okay, let's divide everything by 2. So we have 3x plus 9 is less than or equal to y. All right, now what? I agree. So here's where the trick is. You have to be really careful. If I put y in front and I have my 3x plus 9, yeah. So it's kind of like your mirror. Remember that the alligator is trying to eat y, so make sure it goes the right direction when you flip it, right? Okay, and if we were going to graph this, and we'll just do it kind of quickly, where would we start? At 0, 9 on the y-axis. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then our slope, of course, is 3. So we're going to go up 3 and over 1. Is this going to be a solid or a dashed line? Solid, good, because it's got that equals underneath it. And last but not least, are you going to shade above or below? Above. So again, we look at that y-axis, and so we want to make sure we shade where it's above on the y-axis. All right? Make sure when you shade it that I can tell the difference whether you have a solid or a dashed line. Okay? And it's just enough to show me you know that that's where it's supposed to be shaded. Okay? Now, at the very end of this assignment, it's called a mixed review. It's stuff we've done from the chapter, just to remind you of other stuff since our test is on Thursday. So the last few problems are just like remembering the rest of the chapter, like direct variation, right? Let's see, 1, 4? Not that many. But I do want to tell you, you're going to probably want to start with number 48. So if you want to put that first on your homework, number 48, I want you to put it in the graphing calculator and sketch it. So it's just, yeah, that's how easy it is. You just got to put it in the graphing calculator. All right? So you may want to do that before anything else. All right, so again, you're doing 8 through 60 multiples of 4. And it's in the Chromebook. I actually listed 8, 12, 16, 20 for those of you that can't count by 4. I know, right? There's certain ones, though. Yes, yes, how am I going to yell at my kids? What am I going to do? Yeah, go ahead. There is graphing.